He's Rick Tyler.
And he's Dan Cashman.
And I'm Brett Soucy of Frank's Bakeshop. And I'm on the Ric and Dan Show.
In Maine, we often hear,
"You can't get there from here."
These are the stories of the risk takers,
the trailblazers,
those who turn obstacles into opportunities
every day and found their way
to get there from here.
And today,
they're on the Ric and Dan Show.
How are you not pushing maximum density working around those donuts?
I get that question a lot. Everybody says don't trust a skinny baker, right?
We'd be 350, 400, but you're trim, you're fit. Do you distance yourself from the chocolate glazed?
I think I have a fair amount of stress. Keeps it off. But I would say I'm probably rotting from the inside, Rick.
Frank's Bake Shop is 80 years old.
80 years this late September.
You know what else is 80 years old? The microwave oven.
Wow.
Is there a microwave oven even in the place?
There's a handful. Yeah. I mean, you might, a lot of our meals, customer will come in and quickly heat this up. So we use them. We're not baking with them, I'll tell you that.
No. You also have a gluten-free oven too.
We do not have a gluten-free oven.
I thought there was gluten-free in the back.
We do gluten-free. Okay.
Oh, you do
But what we say to our customers, we're very clear, or at least we need to be very clear, that it's a lifestyle choice at Frank's Bake Shop. Okay. If you come in and you have an allergy, I'm going to push you away. As much as we'd love to do that, there's just way too much going on in that building to ensure that it's not an allergy-free environment.
The reputation that you have, though, is second to none. How do you think that has sustained itself over 80 years?
I just think it's insisting on trying to do the right thing. I tell our customers all the time, because I hear it a lot, like talking to a customer, "Hey, how is everything?" "Oh, it's always great." My response is keep coming back and eventually we're going to mess it up. It's just like playing the lottery. If you could play till the end of eternity, you're probably at some point going to hit it. And I'm a professional at apologies. We definitely get it wrong at times. But we insist on always trying to make it right when given the opportunity. Keep the place clean, take care of people, and try to put out the absolute best product you can.
How much of that came from your relatives?
Oh, all of it. I've been very fortunate, to have really good people that have led us in the right direction. Mm-hmm. My grandparents were spectacular humans, and my parents are the same way. My dad, for one, my God, my dad is the best guy on the planet. And people tell me what a great human my dad is, but they have no idea. And his father was the same, but he was a very lovable guy, and I knew him that way. My grandparents were affectionate. But I can recall one of my first times working for my grandfather. I was probably 15, 14, and there used to be these old crappy wooden doors in the back of the bakery. They were always beat up, and he had taken them off the hinges and set them on some sawhorses and brought me out with a can of paint that was probably as thick as oil at the time, sure it was healthy, and gave me a paintbrush and gave me a quick explanation of what he wanted me to do. And I, 15-year-old kid, stripped it down as best I knew, put the paint to it, and went and got my grandfather and told him I was done. And man, when he came out and looked at it, he basically lambasted me. And it was the first time I'd ever seen him in that sort of mode. Mm-hmm. But it always stuck with me. Like, if you're going to do it, you do it right. You have to. Mm-hmm. And so I can tell you, like, when you walk through the shop, it's not going to be perfect all the time, but at some point within the month, it's going to look perfect. The floors look good, it's clean. And I always want people to feel like in a moment I can bring my friends through that place and be proud of it.
I asked you not too long ago what it was like with Frank looking over your shoulder from those photos or the paintings or the sketches that are about, and if that was inspiring or daunting.
I love it. Yeah, the history of it is pretty cool. I will say, though, there was a time in my life where I didn't appreciate it. I can remember being that 23-year-old kid trying to figure out what was next. Mm-hmm. Working at the bakery, like in my late teens, or, just trying to figure out life and not really realizing what we had, even as a family, and always feeling like I got to go out and get a real job. And I've had some quote unquote real jobs, but nothing's better than being home. And the bakery is home, growing up there, man, we were spoiled. And it's taken me, 53 years to really realize how special the place is.
What are some of those real jobs, quote unquote, that you did have? You used air quotes. People couldn't see that.
Yeah,
but you used air quotes when you said real jobs.
I was super fortunate, and back to my parents, they put me in situations, whether it was sports, and led me to people. I'm so truly blessed to know a lot of people. And because of that, I've been put in certain situations. And I graduated with an English degree. Who would have thought? It's basically what got me through school because I was playing hoop. Got done immediately, ended up like bartending overseas, lived in London for a while, working the pubs, and then came home and kind of got caught in that lifestyle and ran the Bear Brew Pub in Orono for years, and then got pulled over to Margaritas. And that's where I met you, Dan.
That's right.
Doing the old Full Moon Madness. And I did that for, probably 15 years, which led to getting into pharmaceutical sales because I had known a lot of reps that would come in and it just seemed to suit me. And my son was young. I really had to like find a way to get out of the restaurant. So I did that for, 3 or 4 years with the intention of trying to move into orthopedics, which I always found a real interest in, and got into orthopedic sales, which was really cool. Kind of a blue collar sales job, get to be in surgery and, in cadaver labs and learned a lot. But I always felt like I was kind of translating a language that I really didn't speak, And so for me, it was a little uncomfortable, even 15 years later. But it set me up to a point where we were able to be in a position to buy the business when it came up.
It's fascinating to see that you went from English major, bartender, doing something in like the pharmaceutical field, and now you're here. How does all of that add up to a resume that has you running the successful business that is Frank's Bake Shop?
I think I'm a pretty good example of, even if you have no idea what you want to do in life, if you just work hard and like keep stepping forward, you'll have doors that will open. And that's something, because we work with a lot of young kids, and a lot of them don't know what they want to do and they're trying to figure it out. And that's a message that I always say, just do it. Do your best, keep working hard, talk to people, connect with people, and things will happen. And that worked out for me, because at 53 years old, I still don't really know what I want to do. I enjoy what I am doing.
At what age do you think you will grow up?
Probably never really. Yeah.
When does Shelby say she hopes you grow up?
Oh, gosh. I think she'd prefer that we just keep enjoying each other and keep having some fun.
What brought you back here from London or other points overseas? What was the first kind of driver for you to return home?
Oh, that was just a quick trip. I mean, after college, I was there for a year. And
a year is not a quick trip.
I was going to say, maybe a week and a half. It's quick.
I mean, after college, again, I wanted to travel, didn't speak any other languages. So I had a couple of options, right? England or Ireland or Australia. Australia seemed a little too far. So I hopped on a plane, went to England with the intention of like getting a job in a pub, and that worked out. But I had a student visa. And you could it only lasted so long. So at the time, I remember my sister had a child and I wanted to be back to see the baby.
Did you take that time to sort of calculate what you planned on doing when you returned home?
No, I did not. But it definitely set me up for the next move. And to that example of like, sometimes if you just step forward, the next thing will fall in line, right? Because I gained a lot of experience, a lot of customer service stuff. And I also, it was mindset. Like I can tell you just like one of the pubs that I worked in over there was a guy named Eamon. He was a 65-year-old bartender that I worked with in this pub called The George right off of King Street. It's amazing. It was a blast. But I can tell you, setting up that place, we'd fill the ice wells, right? And he was always pushing me. And the second somebody would come in and get like a whiskey on ice, if you didn't put 4 more cubes in the ice well before the next customer came in, he'd be like, "You got to get ready for battle." And it's the truth. And that message always kind of carried with me. And I talk about Eamon a lot, even with my staff, because it is that way, right? Like if you're down one donut on a tray, put another one on it. People want to see that you're ready. And we don't always appear ready, but we got to be kind of at least with that mindset of trying to get there.
If I didn't know it, I would think that there was a time when you were running away from your destiny.
Tell me why you say that.
You went all the way to London.
I want to see it. I'm somebody that like, I could definitely travel and just meet people and be happy just getting to know strangers. I enjoy that part of it. I wouldn't say I was running away. I think I was just trying to kind of figure it out.
I hope I didn't offend you by saying that.
Not at all. No, I mean, trust me.
Usually it's Dan's job to offend people.
Rick, don't worry, I've run away plenty.
I'm offended, actually, listening to it.
Okay.
Very offended. So there's a lot of family businesses out there that seem like a good idea, but then the next generation says, I'm good. I want to go do something else. Yeah. When did you get to that point where you were ready? I know you kind of brought us through there, through the chronological steps, but mindset, when did you get there?
I would say, because you knew me back in like my margaritas days, right? I had just gotten back from London, worked the pubs, done all that thing. I love that. Really, that's who I am. I'm a bartender, not a baker, right? But then I got into the medical stuff because I felt like kind of I had to, A, we needed insurance. B, I was trying to raise my kids. I needed more time at home. It gave me some better flexibility on that end. So it worked for a period of time, but it's never who I was, So when I had the opportunity to come back to it and it being our family business, it just worked out. And the prior owners, it wasn't just my dad. It was my dad, my uncle, and 3 of my aunts. It was a lot of hands in the soup. Mm-hmm. So it made it difficult to kind of take that on. But at the same time, I was probably the one with the most experience with that field. Mm-hmm. And so they approached me and said, what do you think? We're at a point now. They were in their 60s, early 70s. And I said, yeah, I'm interested, but you need to go to your kids and see if anyone else has any interest, because if they do, I'm out. I saw how difficult it was in some respect to have 5 different members of a family kind of working together. Now, it was great in certain respects, but and this is where I should be quiet, Rick, it can create some sort of passive-aggressive behaviors at times, right? Like, imagine if you had to work with 3 of your sisters and 2 of your brothers, Rick. It's hard, right? You walk in on one day, Teresa says, do it this way. Then you come in on Tuesday, and Bernadette wants it done this way. Staff will go crazy. So I think it has been maybe better for the business in some ways that there's one person driving the bus. But on the other hand, man, it's nice when the aunts and uncles come through and I can just take 10 minutes and pull my hair out with them and say, what would you do? Or, not really sure which way is better. What I do know is working for us.
What was that meeting like when they came to you and said, all right, we seriously want you to consider taking on the legacy?
I think I was ready the minute it got brought up. It had crossed my mind many times over the years. It's like you say, what's going to happen to this place, and I definitely felt like I could probably, you hear my stomach growling, guys, I'm starving. That's what happens, in a bakery, you don't eat. There's water everywhere, not a drop to drink.
Yeah.
So, from my respect, I knew I was on board right from the beginning. The question was, how am I going to figure it out, right? Again, 5 owners, pretty big project. Where am I going to get the money? There's a whole lot of things that go through your mind. It wasn't like I was just going to snap my fingers and make it happen. I got lucky. About a year earlier, a buddy of mine had looked to buy a business. And there was a gentleman in Bangor named Tom Gallant. I don't know if you know that name or have ever heard of him. He was a super nice guy. He had worked for, I don't know if it was the SBA or one of the small business, like SCORE kind of. Yeah. And my buddy had given me this guy's card, and I just had it in my pocket. And I remember just in my jacket randomly. And then the conversation had happened at the bakery, and about 3 months into me kind of beating my head off the wall going, how am I going to figure this out? I had just reached into my pocket and pulled the card out, and it was Tom Gallant's number. And I called him on the spot and kind of told him what I was looking to do, who I was. And he just kind of laughed. He's like, I like your story. And I know the bakery. He said, I retire in 1 year. He's like, where are you right now? I said, in top of State Street Hill. I said, get down here. It's going to take us a year to get this figured out. And it just about 1 year to the day, we ended up closing on the business. But what Tom did that was a real gift for my family was not only did he work with me and try to figure it out, but then he pulled in my uncles, my aunts, and he worked with them separately to figure out how they really kind of wanted it to work too. Because if you're not trying to figure out how to sell your business or move along, even the day you buy it, it's going to be tough. You got to have a succession plan. And I don't have one right now, I can tell you that. But he really helped my family with that.
You mentioned the worries about how are we going to work this out? How are we going to make this happen? But were you at the point yet you could have any worries or fears about what happens when you do work it out? How are you going to make the business run and stay successful?
You mean when it's my time to kind of move on? Oh yeah, I definitely worry about it because I care about other people. I love Lori. I love Kelly. I love Buddy. I want to make sure that their lives are great. And so for me just to be like, all done, that's And I've got a son, a daughter, they're going to have kids. I've got a grandson now. I think about them. It's like, what is next? Whether I should be thinking that way or not. But I do think that the bakery is important to Bangor. It's been here 80 years. Man, I'd love to see 100. And I can tell you, I'm not ready to give it up. I'd like to tune it down. I wish I didn't have to work all the time, and I have an amazing staff right now, and I probably get more freedom in this moment than I have really in the last 8 years.
Any thoughts from your immediate kids that they're hinting that, I could see myself putting on an apron. I could see myself around the cash register.
My son has worked there. He'll be back working with us too. And, I can tell you this, I wasn't ready to own and buy the business when I took it on. Okay. Who's ready to have kids until the moment you do, and then you just kind of figure it out. And so I can remember my Aunt Teresa, because I would have these conversations with her prior to buying it, because she really was the manager of the shop. And I did definitely express, like, how the hell am I going to do this? You know, figuring out how to get it, that's one thing. Figuring out how to do it, that's another thing. But if you are somebody that is just willing to try, then it'll come to you, you know.
There were your father and 4 siblings?
Yeah.
And now it's just you?
And my wife. I could not do without her, I can tell you that.
And the 2 of you were basically doing the responsibilities of 5 people in the past generation.
I would say that the 2 of us have become very fortunate to have above 50 employees that are carrying our butts, put it that way. And we do everything we can to keep them happy and work with them and fill holes. And I guess what I'm saying, Dan, I'm not patting myself on the back here. I'm not willing to do that. You know, without the crew, without Jay, without everybody in there that's doing it, I am not good enough to run that place.
But you're smart enough to hire the people that will be able to help you do the job.
Yeah. And my wife and I are there. We're working. We're working almost every day, you know, and I do think that a lot of the success does come from us, you know, because we want to be there. We want to be part of the crew. Like if we just walked away and said, hey, we're going on vacation for the next 3 months, it would not be the same place when we got back.
Have you had any moments where you've just wanted to throw your hands up and then you reset the next day? And what brings you back to that?
The first 3 years there, it was just kind of go, made changes, you know, and like we haven't, you guys know, you've been in, it's not like the bakery's any different than it was 20 years ago, really, from the heart, but it looks a little different. We've shifted some things, but even from day one, I've been very mindful of even like the color of paint that I put in that place. Like when I try to make a decision, it's almost, I'm not saying what does Brett want for paint? I'm saying what does the community want? You know, what's going to work best for Frank's? And I've tried to make decisions that way, but the first 3 years, because of all the changes, it was a little tough, particularly like with the previous family members that owned it, you know, because when you have something for so long and you put your heart into it, it can be hard to let it go. And so there are feelings and emotions that get there, right? And then even with the community kind of looking, you know, it's like when I left Margaritas, I would hear people come in and be like, it's not the same since you left, you know. I know some of those owners of Frank's Bakery also heard it's not the same since you left, right? And I could feel a little bit of pushback. And honestly, it wasn't until I took, if you've noticed like the old historical photos of like my family and stuff, the second I put those on the wall, guess what? Wow, that guy's doing a great job. You know, they're doing such a good job at Frank's Bakery. And because it's not about like the donut, it's about the connection to people. And if you find that way to connect with people or a community, then it's going to work. And so I think I found that way a little bit, and we don't get it right every day, man. I'm telling you, there are times where I'm out and I'm active and I'm kissing babies and shaking hands and opening the door for people. And there are days I have them where I look out through the deli and I see a wave of people and I'm so stressed that it's hard even to get out there and say hello. The other day, I walked right by a buddy of mine, Tom Higgins, the old fire chief, right? Yeah. Looked right at him twice. Didn't even say hello. And I got a text from him like, dude, what are you doing? You know? I just think you can just be locked in and miss opportunities with people. And I do it too.
There's an extra pressure when it's a legacy to modernize and yet hold on to the charm that generations expect.
Definitely.
Do you feel like you're over that challenge now?
I don't want to change it too much, Rick. I like walking in there and seeing what it is. And I have had some moments where like I'll sit down at the little bar there where the ice cream is and kind of look at the whole bakery now. And the truth is like we have changed everything within an arm's length of you, no matter where you stand or sit in that place now. You know, we've done a lot of work. There are changes that might make sense, you know, from a younger customer standpoint, whether it's with technology or certain things. And we have tried certain things, but in general, we're going to keep it so that it's a people business. You know, I think the little sticker that we have on our box says, you know, Frank's Bakery, it's a place to be. You know, and that's the truth of it. And my dad does say that, like because I'll sit with my dad at times and just catch in. He's there every day. And both my parents are. My mom's folding boxes and doing everything she can to help us out still, you know. And my mom was the one that said, you know, one thing about Frank's, it's a place to be. And that's like when you guys look at these gifts I brought you, you'll see that right on the sticker. I put that there because it is true. And Dad says that my grandfather's dream was always to like bring in tables and find a way for customers just to be. And I love that.
You know what else is 80 years old? The United Nations. Wow. Talk about bringing people together. I think Frank's Bakeshop has brought as many people together as the United, maybe even more effectively these days.
Possibly.
So just hang all the flags.
Yeah.
Do you, I don't remember the exact timeline on this, and I tried to look it up and I failed miserably, but tell me about bringing back the pizza. Was that under your watch? Was that before you took over?
No, we did that.
Okay.
So I knew that I wanted to. There's a lot of like bakery and family stories that I've heard that are maybe true, maybe not, right? But Frank's allegedly was, if not one of the first businesses in Bangor to ever serve pizza. Okay, years ago, like back in the 50s, allegedly. Okay, my grandfather and my great uncle Frank were both spectacular humans, but completely different guys. Okay. I would say that my grandfather was very even keeled, loving and affectionate, always smiling. He was always dancing with the bride at the wedding they were catering. My uncle Frank was also a spectacular guy. I loved him to death, but he appeared to be a little bit more gruff, a little bit more, he was probably more reactive, I would say,
Okay.
And I can appreciate that because I'm probably a little bit that way myself. But the story is that there was a day where they were doing pizza and then something either happened in a moment where they burnt one, or it was like a customer called the last second and we're done doing pizza and shut it down, right? And then the next day they're all done. But we have the original signs that are like, you can get a cheese pizza for 10 cents. So that's how long ago it was, some of that. But I always felt like, look, we've already got the ovens. We've got the people. I love the pizza. It's absolutely spectacular. And I have people come in all the time saying it's the absolute best pizza around, but we close at 6. So it's hard to be a pizza place, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I don't want to really, we tried to maybe stay open a little early and make it work. I think it works well for a business. Just come in and get slices during lunch. And I would love for everybody to try it. Was it a good business decision? Probably not, because that stone hearth oven that we have back there takes up a lot of room. And honestly, we do better just getting our pies done more.
I will say, though, as a pizza lover, as a pizza connoisseur, I didn't know that Frank's ever had pizza when you brought it back. And I found myself, it's been long enough now that I've forgotten part of that story.
Okay.
But I found myself gravitating to Frank's more to keep trying that pizza. But it also made me feel closer with the bakery and just knowing the legacy of it.
We're going to have a pizza delivery here in about 5 minutes anyway. I got some pies coming in for you guys.
Oh, my word. We did not launch a podcast to receive product.
Hey.
However,
when you've got the opportunity to market a little bit, you take it.
Has there ever been pressure to be open a little later, open a little earlier?
So we have shifted a little bit. I mean, we used to open at 5:30 in the morning, but the truth is it comes down to people, right? Winters are rough. And then I got, Liz working in the morning out front. I know I consider her like why she got to get up at 4:30 to stand there and wait for the customer. It's going to be shoveling their car off anyway. So for us, we just switched it a little bit. We're 6 to 6. We open till 3 on Saturdays, and Saturdays is just selfish, right? Like we're closing at 3. Typically the business died down anyway. Everyone gets to go home, enjoy the weekend a little bit.
And let me ask about COVID.
Yeah.
And how big a challenge that was to meet demand. People still need you, and you still need them. And we had to stay 6 feet apart and sometimes not see each other.
Yeah. Man, Rick, I'd prefer just to block it all out. Never say it again. COVID was no fun, right? It was a lot of stress. I think in hindsight, all of us could look at it in different ways and think, man, was all that stress for what? Everybody tried to manage it as best they could, and so did we. Again, we're a customer service business, so we're dealing with people. We saw a lot of conflict, a lot of agitation between customers. But when it came down to how the bakery operated, we really just tried to get our product to our customers in the best and most efficient way that we could. We did the curbside stuff and shifted the model a little bit. But the truth was, if we'd have just kind of kept doing what we're doing, it all would have worked out fine, I think. Everybody at one point was wearing masks in there and this and that, and it was no fun, And then dealing with the staff is just hard. And then every time someone had a runny nose, you felt like, we got to shut the place down.
Run away.
Yeah, it was crazy. And it's funny because when it happened, right, it was like the scarlet letter for a little while with businesses, I think in the beginning, right? And oh my God, so-and-so has COVID in their business. We ate a donut. Are we going to die? And we're getting all the emails and all that stuff too. And we got all that. And man, it was just no fun. So I appreciate the people that were patient with us and trying to work through it. And I'm glad we're all past that, and I hope it never comes back.
Amen.
I do remember that being a time of great uncertainty, but you had to find the treats.
Yeah.
And the treats at Frank's. I mean, I feel like every time that I had a day, I'd waddle right over to Frank's. Right. And it was a rough time. Yeah. I was in sweatpants a lot.
I mean, we closed down for 9 weeks, right? And we were, that PPP loan that had come out, and everybody was on board with that. And basically, you become the unemployment office, right? So that money is funneled to the business. We paid all of our staff. We used it exactly how it was supposed to be. And honestly, I just cleaned the place up and put a new floor down. We just went to work, took advantage of the time, and handed out turkey pies to whoever was coming in the back door and kind of make it work.
Speaking of doors, am I hearing a door open?
This is my guy, David Bender.
David, we did not know this was happening.
No. Very excited.
Dave, throw one of those on the table. You guys don't have to eat it, but you're at least going to smell it.
Oh, no, I'm going to be eating and talking at the same time.
How many pies do you move a day?
Oh, gosh. The secrets like that, Rick, we can't tell you that.
I can't tell us that.
Pizza pies or
Well, I was thinking pizza pie because there's a pizza pie in front of us now.
I'd love to move a lot more pizza because it's spectacular, right? And a lot more people need to know about it.
Grab those headphones, put them right on your head, Mr. Man.
Guys, this is my buddy, David Bender. He's one of our new managers at the bakery. He's going to be helping me out a lot.
David, good to meet you.
Yeah.
How you doing?
It's an awesome place to be. It really is.
How'd you get there?
So a few different things.
I'm seriously gonna eat a piece of pie.
How good does that smell, though?
So, it tastes so good. I'm already 2 bites in. So I got cheese dangling off my chin. It is so good.
We're not going to be talking for a bit, so you got to fill up, Mr. Bender. Now you got to tell us how'd you get here.
You guys enjoy the pizza. So my background is mostly in like logistics, actually. So, but coming here to getting with in Frank's was I met Brett through, I did a lot of photography. My background is in logistics when it comes to management, but I met Brett through doing a lot of like photography. I did their website, a lot of photos and stuff like that. So
are you doing the social posts?
Yeah, I've been the one doing that. But then I met Brett and so I have done probably 50 restaurants, right? Their menus, like just taking images and stuff like that. But when I walked into Frank's, it was very, very special right from the beginning. And I would never want to talk ill of another place, but there is something very, very special happening there. I've never walked into a place and had everybody just be excited to be at work. The way that they've kind of built the family aspect of that bakery, like at scale like that, is really something to really behold.
Are you from the Bangor area?
No, I'm actually from Plymouth, like Plymouth Rock, Plymouth. So,
oh, really?
I've been up here for a little over 10 years now. The store, met a girl.
Yeah, that's how we all get trapped in. Yeah,
that's why I take 8 months of winter. So I got, she's worth it.
Dave, you got any plates or napkins in that bag or no? Oh man.
He said, "Don't forget the plates and napkins right before he left."
We're good. You're just gonna have to watch me lick my hand later, but
that's fair.
Done worse. So, Brett, do you find though that the specialness of Frank's? Do you think that people of Bangor maybe have just kind of, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but maybe started to take it for granted because it's been there for so long, and then you have somebody come in from Plymouth who sees how special it is and says, "Wow, this is different."
I think I take it for granted sometimes, for sure, and mostly with like the product, right? I mean, growing up, I probably ate more eclairs than anyone in the country.
You don't look at it.
Three ice creams a day, and even now there are times I'm like, man, what are all these people coming in here for? Because we sell a lot of product and we have a lot of customers that do count on us. So I would say, do they take us for granted? Man, I don't see that with our customers. I think sometimes we miss opportunities, and I don't think on a weekly basis where I'm talking to someone, "Oh, where's Frank's? I never heard of that." I'm like, how do you not know?
Well, you've been there for, 80 years you've been there. How has the physical footprint of Frank's grown over the years? Because it must have.
It has a bit, yeah. So, I mean, originally, and like one of the gifts I gave you, Rick, there's a little history book in there too.
Right, a good.
But it talks about like the original bakery was on Hancock Street for just a short period of time, okay? And then on 199 State Street, there was an old A&P, is what it used to be originally. And the owner of that apparently was a nice guy, but didn't love the business. And he was always having frustrations. And allegedly, he would just continue to repeat to people, man, if I had a nickel, I'd sell this place right now, right? And allegedly, my grandfather was either working there at the time or had a connection, heard him say it, pulled out a check or $100 out of his pocket and said, let's get the deal done. And then at that point, the bakery moved up to State Street, okay? If you go into the shop, just over the donut case, one of the original photos on the wall there is like the original photo of Frank's Bake Shop. It's very small. That's what I remember as a kid, you know, that old like 70s sort of paneling and stuff. And the bakery was really cool, but it was small. My grandparents lived in the building. Okay. All the kids' bedrooms were upstairs, and there used to be a little elevator that would go up and down. You could hop in and catch a ride.
What a treat that must have been as a kid.
But at some point, there was an alleyway between what we now call the East Room. If you look at the signs on the face of the bakery, that was my Uncle Don's real estate agency. My Uncle Don, he was the mayor of Bangor for years. Did you ever know Don Soucy?
Yes, sir.
So the bakery and that building were completely separate, and there was an alleyway that went through that space. And I can remember being a kid playing hoop and roller skating back there, you know. It's kind of what we did. My grandmother always had a garden, and there was a big propane tank that we used to hop on and pretend it was a pirate ship, you know. But after my grandfather passed away, because my freshman year in college, he had gotten pancreatic cancer and got sick, and within a year he had passed. But I believe, you know, with the insurance money and stuff that they had, they ended up connecting the two buildings and then putting the brick facade and really kind of cleaning it up. And my dad did all that work. I mean, he's pounded every nail in that place and has run miles of wire. What he's been able to do there, even while we're open, is pretty amazing.
Have you maximized the use of the space in the basement area?
I mean, there is stuff every inch of that place.
Yeah.
Have we maximized it? David will say, not a chance, right? And
not yet.
Not yet.
And it's hard. It's chopped up, right? It's like the bakery is not ideal. And even like as a customer, you walk in there, the flow is hard, right? You walk in, and you're like, man, what do I do? Which case do I go? And it's just, I think, really because of the nature of our business and the layout of the building, we're doing our best. But we have to constantly be thinking about ways to tune it up.
It's like we turned an old logging road into a highway.
Right.
Because you need to go from one end to the other
you got to
check
see
it out. What it's like, okay, if I'm going to get the bread, I'm going to get the milk, I got to walk all the way around the grocery store. If I go and walk all the way through Frank's, I'm going to see something. Okay, I want to take that home. I want a couple of those. And if I don't bring one of those for Elizabeth, I'll be on the couch.
And, you know, for the regular customer, it works. You go in there, you understand, and you figure it out. But for that new person that's just getting out of their car, and, you know, there's two different types of personalities. We get waves, right? Our parking's not great. So I was saying this to Dave the other day. We get waves of customers. 10 cars show up at once. They all come in. It's hard to sometimes know who's next, right? I'm not putting out a ticket there because I want to keep it personal. And when we train staff, it's not like, hey, who's next? It's like, you know, may I help you? I'm not sure who's next. Could you guys help me out? But certain customers, even if they're next, won't really speak up, you know, and they'll lean against the wall. And then the other person will say, yeah, I'm next. And it can create conflict that comes back on us. So it's interesting. You know, I truly love the psychology of all of it that happens at the bake shop.
You know, what I hear the most actually when somebody does go behind the scenes at the bakery is that, wow, I didn't know it was this big.
Yeah.
Like that building's a lot bigger than it looks from the face. It's really deep. There's a bunch of crevices and an attic. And it is a very large building.
Have either of you guys been in there before, ever? Have you?
Not out back.
No.
I've only been in the front customer area. I'm stalling while Rick is chewing.
Yeah.
I've been in the front area a number of times, but I see, if you see that as a challenge where the flow of the customer experience,
right.
How do you overcome that challenge? I feel like I have an inkling for how you've overcome it, but I want to hear you say it.
I want to hear you first.
I think that you've trained your customer service people, the people behind the registers, well to guide people along.
Definitely.
I've been in there, I don't know how many times, but even as often as I'm in there and I see somebody that I recognize, they're still very proactive, guiding me in the right direction, whether it's right to their register or directing me where to go.
Yeah, I would agree. And I appreciate you acknowledging that. It's extremely important to me that when you walk through the door, there's somebody standing at the case saying, good morning, how are you? You know, not what can I get you, but how are you doing? And create a dialogue and then bring them through.
Yep. Very little left to interpret as a customer. And I think that has worked great. We've heard a lot about staffing challenges over the past 5 years. Has Frank's experienced those staffing challenges as well?
That's not the son of someone knocking on the door to fill out a job application, is it? No.
You know, I'm careful to say this because, yes, there's been a lot of challenges, like you talked about COVID earlier, right? And you hear the story, man, there's no one to work, and man, we've got the challenges. We have been so fortunate. There's not been one day, we've owned the business 8 years. We write a schedule every week. We have not had a moment where we've had to really sweat. You know, we've had our typical issues that any business would, but we, I think, have created an environment that people want to be at. And so we're just fortunate. We've got amazing staff. Our model has been, you know, Rick, if I were to hire you, because you seem like an amazing human.
Oh, put me to work.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
But once I get you to work and fall in love with you, guess what? The next question is, who do you know, Rick? Because I know really great people spend time with great people.
Paula Cull.
Love her.
Her daughter worked there. Kelsey then said to her mom, hey, I guess they could use some extra help. And I walk in one day, and then all of a sudden there's Paula there. And what are you doing here? And then there's someone taking the order for the chicken caprese sandwich with extra spinach that my wife wants.
Yeah, and Paula doesn't need to be there, right? She's there because she gets to spend time with her daughter, for one. Yeah. It's a fun environment, and we suckered her into it.
Are you looking to expand again? I know there's the building next to you. There's a little alleyway there. That's an insurance place.
Yeah, there might be some rumors going on right now, and I think it's probably early to have any conversation around it. I would hope that we will continue to fine-tune our business, do better with the efficiencies, try to maximize the spaces we have. When there's a possibility to put a little bit more creativity out there for the community, I want to take it. But I also, you know, I'm 53. I don't want to work till I'm 80. You know, I really would like to be able to set something up for either my staff or my kids or something so that they have something to work with too. But I still got a lot in me and a lot more crazy ideas. The thing is, though, I'm not the best implementer, right? I've got a million ideas and I need people to like keep me in track. And that's why someone like David and the key staff there, they keep it going.
I wonder if that was Shelby's job too, in a way.
Speaking of Shelby.
Oh, there she is showing up on the phone. Yeah. David, how do you feel about your job on Sunday night? I'm thinking about Monday morning is coming. Yeah. It's Sunday night. I got to go to work tomorrow. How do you feel about your job on a Sunday night?
Some call those the Sunday scaries before you go into work the next day.
Attitude adjustment.
I will say this. It'll probably sound it won't sound so great, but honestly, it'll sound like it's not the truth, but really, I because it works so well with my psyche, right? I'm somebody that like, I need to have a lot of things going on so I can do a little of this, do a little of that. And that's how I get a lot of things done. Right. And so a place like that is great. When it comes down to that Sunday night, I'm kind of glad for Monday because then I've been thinking about it all weekend, what I'm going to do next or what I'm going to do. And I know it sounds like that's not something normal people do, but I am still kind of new there and I'm very excited, you know, about the place in general. And maybe that lasts forever or maybe it ends, you know, but right now when you ask that question, most of the time I'm excited about what I have to do tomorrow.
See, I ask that because if you want to know what your company culture is or how good it is or how solid it is, you ask your employees, how do you feel on Sunday night?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I get the hunch that people are kind of looking forward to Monday mornings.
You know, I can tell you that like this past Sunday, half the staff showed up to the bakery and went into the East Room and had a little fantasy game that they were playing, right? They all connect. For me, I'm out back working on something in the property and I see them walking in one by one in costume or doing whatever they're doing, whatever that might be, and think, man, if I've done anything, it's like we've created something where we have a group of people that care about each other enough that even like on an off day that they want to spend time together. So yeah, that's cool, you know, and just that team environment, I really do take a lot of pride in that.
Thanks for listening to the Ric and Dan Show.
And thanks, Rick, for making this a very entertaining, unique experience. Sarcasm filter off.
Oh, man. If you like what you heard, don't suppose you'd click that subscribe button.
And maybe leave us a review on your favorite listening platform.
5 stars are our favorite.
And next time you hear someone say,
"You can't get there from here,"
you tell them to listen to the Ric and Dan Show.